Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of the Black Quant VTF here, T3 Live, and what happened? The triangle finally grew a little bit. So, if we go back to SPY, we got our weekly up. Look at this, back to Doji land, triple Doji weeklies doing nothing. But, because the Dow, because everything's so low, the volatility's so low, it seems huge. So let's go back to it. Daily here, right? We break up into the highs, go hitting the try, and then come right back in. Outside day for the SPY. That's a fractal triangle in and of itself, right? And so if we go back to the 60, remember we were watching this. We get out, and then we got to stay out. Come do the one hopper of support. Go inside 30 and back into the triangle, and that starts everything going through all this stuff. Now, so far, not enough to full one bar rev strat it, but we certainly are in that neighborhood because we want to watch once those smaller triangles start to grow. Can we get through all this stuff down into here? All right, all these guys in here. So this is what we want to see, and with this low volatility, we'll see. We still have earnings coming out, and we pop back up. So the question is, are we going to take out today's highs or lows? We're closer to the lows, which is good to try and go after this stuff. But we did pop back up. But if we go down here, it is an outside day shooter, so maybe we get that to kick in. QQQ, also a shooter, and 60 does the same thing. This tight triangle business and back into here, but it's only weak enough to take this out. So the question is, can it come down and take all of that out or pop up and go inside day? Because the Q's still not gotten out of this range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in this range. And so that's another one of the reasons to give us a clue that this thing might reverse back in. So if we go to semiconductors, SMH, you can see this bar here did take it out and comes back in. Now, the question, do we triangle this stuff out and shoot her back down into this smaller triangle? And remember, we've been watching this like this. Here's your semiconductors, like so. So still putting in a lower series. Got rid of all this stuff, but then dropped back in and got rid of all these guys by stopping them out. The question is going to be weak enough to take all this stuff out. So we'll keep an eye on that. If we go to XRT daily triangle still tried to get out of here and gaps right to the line and comes back in. Not the end of the world, but we'll see if it comes through like that. Small cappers do shooter counters hammer, and so we'll see if we can get out of that because of what wouldn't be inside month and down, but it gets close to taking out the monthly lows last week, and that's 138.83. Because remember, if you look at the Qs, even if they hit them, they are nowhere near taking out last month's lows. So for a while, unless they start slamming them, at best we'd be looking at inside month, even though they're going to kill them. But we'll see. So what we'll be looking for, obviously, we've got earnings come out. We want to see if any of these rev strats kick in because you've got Bank of America, which is still doing its job. It just ticks the weekly triangle to the tick again, stuff like that, and going quarterly up. But 1 bar or 2 bar rev strat, it's a shooter counters the inside day. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. So we'll see if any of that kicks in. And the Dow Jones outside day, fractal triangle left, and they're like, oh no, it's not hitting new highs again. I'm like, ah. What Dow Jones did has been strong enough here and just here, outside 60, goes up there and then triangles them out. See, that's what you want to look for, the outside bar. And go up and then come back through it, and there's your fractal try. Would be on a shorter term basis, but you can see this still pretty tight up in here. But that's what they did. They go up in here, they take it out, they go inside. So the question is that going to be weak to take out today's lows? And we'll be aware of this stuff because that's outside shooter to the downside, and you've got a lot going on over there in the Dow. You got Disney dumping on earnings. You've got Intel potential rev strat day. Watching that with SMH as well. IBM is inside week and down in momentum shooter daily. You've got UNH as an inside day. You've got Boeing as an inside day. You've got McDonald's as an inside day. You've got Home Depot, Utex, and yeah, so the lot there. We also got an Earl number coming in the morning. So it's oil day, and shooter on the UCO is not doing much in here, right? We can get stuck in here. How are we going to get out of here if we go to our 60? You can see it's just really knuckle tight in here. So either way on this thing to see how it goes. like that. You can see how tight that is. So maybe we don't get too much out of the stocks or the move, but we'll see. APC would be rev strat to the downside to try and take all this stuff out. Still pretty tight. And Noble, potentially inside day off bottom of the triangle if they can start rallying them. Carrizo has been much weaker too, but potentially bottom of the triangle here. But we'll have to see. All the oils are pretty tight. AutoZone does this, goes bearish in Gulf Day, and once again, after gapping lower, the question is, did they triangle out? And they're done, and now can start moving lower off of that thing. So you can look for signals below that low. We got Monster, and I think that earnings might have come out on this thing because it's rev strat down. I think it's lower. So, but we can keep an eye on that. ICPT in the bios goes inside day to see if it's going to hold this triangle or come ripping through. You've got Clovis still holding this triangle here to see if there's any hope in the bio. LITE tries to go rev strat day up, and STMP goes inside day after the big move. XLU, utilities are going to the recent highs on this. So that tells us they're rotating back into the dividends. They're getting a little scared. And ETR goes bullish engulfing day, so you can keep an eye on that. KLAC in the semis also goes inside day, and you can see either here trying to hold bottom of the triangle like this or triangle them out up and then take this back down to the lows if we can start to see some tech weakness. LMT still going to the highs with Raytheon. So you still with Raytheon or TN still. So those things, we'll see how that goes. As far as the weekly monthlies are concerned, the slight skird today. What it did was basically, beef up the down list, but not wipe out the up list. And what I mean by that is it wasn't really strong enough to turn a lot of stuff around. So just yet. Because if we look at the weekly, Alcoa still weaken up. ABBV, ABBV still weaken up. Texas Instruments in the semis. Gap Stores. Zilla. CA. DFS. Williams Sonoma. SIG Cap Sig. And SGY picked up some steam today, and we know that thing can bounce around a little bit. So definitely would keep an eye on that thing once it heats up like that. The monthly list still got the big boy Apple on it. Apple still mounting up. Target and retail still mounting up. WB, Walgreens retail. DG retail. Dollar Tree retail. CE retail, all still monthing up. Data and VMW. On the downside list did increase, and so here, like I said, it's almost even Steven now, so that sounds about right. Qualcomm takes the week down, so we can watch that with Tech, Merck, week down. Dow Jones, Southwest Air, Trannies, UTEX in the Dow. EXPD trannies, Masco home builder stuff, Thermo, and Burrito still weakened down. And on the monthly, you still had VRX, that was on the Gapper list, which is, on the monthly. Gapper list and came right back in, hard to see when these little things get a little. Wells Fargo on the banks is still monthing down. ENDP, another beating, is still monthing down. Mylan. PDCE, and that's energy, so we can definitely keep an eye on that with PE, with the Earl number coming out. Perigo, still in the bio. HCN, REITs, and XPO tranny. So, yeah, the triangle's beginning to grow. The question is, are we going to really get that stuff to kick in? So we'll find out tomorrow, because if we start going down, a bunch of those levels will help kick that in, but, they'll have to prove it. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant VTF here, T3 Live.